Hello. Let me turn this up. Let's pin this. Why with my lighting is messing up. Hold on. I wish they let you do this before you start. I just thought of an idea of how to do this. Who's here? Pin comment, yes. Hey. All right, let's see. How do I add you? I think you have to request. Oh yeah, here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Back up a little bit.
I'm sitting here trying to be still before this phone, do anything, and trying to get lighting together.
It's fine. I had to do the same thing. I had to close my blinds. There was too much sunlight coming in here.
So you're on your phone, right?
Yep.
You have like a tripod or something?
So I hold it up against my MacBook.
Oh, that's a smart idea. I know I have it in my ring light. As you can see, it's through my glasses. But yeah, I'm like, I need something to, I don't know. Anyhow,
I just hold it up against my MacBook. I don't have no tripod. I improvise.
Right. I know. I need to too. But I was like, well, at least, the ring light has a little hook. So I said, why not use it? So.
Yep, exactly.
Well, we're going to wait for people to join.
All right. I'm excited.
I don't know. I wish there was a way that you could record these and like download it.
No, you can. You can. So after this is over with, you can save it. And so what I do for mine, I like copy the link, and there's like a link or website you can go to download, Instagram videos.
Oh,
and
really?
I download it that way, and I upload it on YouTube.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. That's why I was doing the whole Zoom thing.
Yeah. So just make sure after this, just save it to your profile or like share it to your profile.
Okay.
And then I can send you the link for the website, to copy the link to download it until I something.
Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Of course.
Come on, people. Man, folks be late. Like, come on. But it is a Saturday. I guess I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
All right. So what'd you say?
I kind of forgot that you were on the West Coast. I'm like 12 o'clock. I'm like, okay, 12 o'clock my time. But then I look back at the message. I'm like, okay, that's 12 o'clock her time. So that's 3 o'clock my time.
I know. It will throw you off for sure.
Yep.
I know. I don't do too well with different time zones. So I have to put it in my phone and see who's who. There's your parents. Hi, parents.
They always on here.
Like, we're going to share your parents today, darn it. I have become a part of the family. I just haven't met everybody yet.
Just virtually.
Hi.
Oh, that's one of my people, Diamond. What's up, Diamond?
All right, we'll give people a little bit more time to join, even though I like to start on time, but I'll give them like 1 more minute. Cello.
It's cool. It's social media time. It's not late. It's not bad.
I know.
Social media time.
Didn't even know there could be such a thing, man. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Carol. I didn't know you guys were joining. You guys can respond in the text group. This is going to be good. I'm really, really, really excited.
I'm excited as well. I got a couple of notes written down that,
I know. I was prepared. I had these notes written down for a couple weeks now, probably since like after you and I had our phone conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to be better at. Prepare in advance. I can't be doing stuff. I can't be doing stuff off the top of my dome.
Yeah. I'm the same way. People probably think I'm like a news reporter or something like that. I'm like, no, that's not what I do. All my questions come from a piece of paper.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to wait for some of these, the people who really need to hear it, them athletes.
You can with the arrow on the side, I think it's the message. You can send it to them, so like if they get the notification.
Yeah, I've been like tagging them and stuff. Let me see. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and just invite everybody. As you can tell, I don't do lives too often, so I guess I should do this a little more often.
2020 got us, 2021 got us all online doing everything.
Man. All right. Well, I mean, I guess people will join eventually. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Oh, hey, Shauna. Thanks for being here, Shauna. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. People will join in. I'll monitor the chat as we go along and kind of, if there's any questions, I'll take, we'll stop and just kind of do a little check-in with everyone who's listening. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that we made it happen.
I know, me too.
2021. All right. So this is the first series of my inspiration workshops, keeping it reality, emphasizing on the real. This came from just the thought of like, what can we give people that would really kind of stay on the track of keeping people motivated, inspired, but also tying it to a lot of situations and pertinent situations and environments that people are in right now. And what better way than to talk to the founder of After The Ball Deflates. So today's topic is getting to know your why. I had to start there. I mean, I know we've heard a lot of getting to know your why. You have a why and I have a why.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brandy Day. I'm Brandy Day, founder of I Daydream. And I'm here with Jasiah Scott, founder of After the Ball Deflates. And again, we're talking about getting to know your why today. So, hey, Aaron. Hey, Katina. All right. So to get things started before we even dive into all the juiciness, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then I'll follow up with a question after that.
Okay. So, hello everyone. As she stated, I'm Jasiah Scott, the founder of After the Ball Deflates. And I'm originally from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I'm 23 years old, graduated college from Virginia State University in 2019 with the sports management and minor degree with a minor in mass communications. And now I do After the Ball Deflates on the side, but my regular full-time job, I'm a management analyst for the Department of the Army. So that's what I do full-time every single day. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Dope. I love it. So how did you, and what is the inspiration behind After the Ball Deflates?
Okay, so I came up with the name After the Ball Deflates. Maybe this is 2021. So about 3 years ago, it was Thanksgiving time. I was at the table with my family. And I've been thinking about this for a while because I have friends and I grew up playing basketball. They grew up playing basketball, football, and whatsoever like that. And I knew that I was getting to a point where I'm about to graduate. And I know they were getting to a point where they're about to graduate. So in my head, I'm like, okay, what are they going to be doing after graduation, and what am I going to be doing after graduation? And I stopped playing basketball in high school, so my quote unquote career came to an end a lot sooner than my friends. And I kind of already had like a plan ahead of like what I was going to do after graduation. But I know for them, they necessarily didn't think about that because all they were doing was playing basketball in school, and they want different scholarships like that. So it came up in my mind. I'm like, okay, what can I do to help them, but also help, the world in general? So I'm like, okay, Tom Brady had a deflation thing going on a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl. So I took a little bit of that, and then I took it, okay, after life after sports. I heard people were talking about that. So I'm like, how about I put after the ball deflates? Because once a ball deflates, you can't really do nothing with the ball. Like, you could try to dribble it, you could try to throw it, but it's not going to go as far, or it's not going to, bounce up the way that you want it to be. And you have to do something else on the side to make up for that, or to, prolong that situational career, or just longevity of that ball in general. So that's how I came up with after the ball deflates.
And look at you now. Hey, look at you now. Hey. You got the hat and the shirts and all that stuff.
Yeah. I got everything.
That is so dope. It's funny how conversations will lead you to like driving home, or just get you all in your thoughts, not feelings, but in your thoughts of like, okay, what can I do with this? Because there's always a need, right? It's just a matter of kind of falling in and catching it while you can, and then what will you do with it from there? So getting to know your why is essential, but what happens when the why is only now, like for only a certain period of time?
I feel like with my generation and the generations, below me, which we're all like Generation Z, millennials, whatever people want to call us, a lot of people don't think ahead. And being with like, coming from my family, my dad, my grandfather, they always told me to like think ahead and, dream big, dream big. Like, I had a vision board when I was, I think like 10 or 10, 11 or 12, something like that. And they always set up on the board, like behind my bed. And on that board, I don't even think I have it anymore, but it was me playing basketball. There was an airplane. There was a Bible. There was, it was a degree from, college. And there was money and planes. All of that came true except for me, being in the lottery, getting drafted and all of that. Mm-hmm. Because now with my job, I get to travel. And that plane was on that. I get to make money with my job. I get to, even though I'm not playing basketball, I still get to inspire people through sports and just through my life story. And I would just tell people, always think ahead and not just think in the now, because you're not going to be the same person that you were when you were 10, 15, 16, 17, as the same person you are when you're going to be 20, 21, 22, 23. Right. And a lot of people think, okay, I'm young, I still got my life to live, this and that. As we see with 2020, life is short. So you can't really pick and choose when you want to be productive and when you want to, think ahead. You always have to think ahead in anything that you do in life and just prepare, because my professor in college always say, get ready, stay ready. Mm-hmm. Because if you get ready, you never have to, you would never have to, stay ready. Mm-hmm. And you always prepare for what's to come, no matter what situation life throws at you. So absolutely. That's what I, think of when it comes to, knowing your why in the now, and then later on in life.
Yeah. So what happens if, obviously we know having a circle of people around you and having a circle of influences. Your mom said, your dad said they still have that poster. That might have to be a throwback Thursday. You need a live just for that. Because that's really cool that you can put something, visualize it, right? You're setting your intentions, and here you are, 12 years later, 13 years later, and all of that stuff has come to fruition. But what about those who don't really grow up in that type of environment? Because there are a lot of youth, adults, athletes, you name it, people who just didn't grow up in that type of environment to get that type of push. So they don't even know, like when it's like a second language, if someone says, well, what's your why? And they're like, what do you mean? What happens in that moment? Like, how do you inspire or encourage someone to really dive into it? Like, is there certain questions? What does the conversation look like?
I would say it's all about your environment. Like, growing up, just surrounding yourself around people that's like-minded and have the same type of mindset as you. Like, me growing up, I always was hanging around my boys and stuff that wanted to play basketball. But with hanging around them, I knew that they had that mindset that I'm going to grind, I'm going to work hard. Like, I'm going to do this to make, this dream come true. And even though that dream for me was basketball, I still took that mindset, even though I'm not playing anymore. I took that mindset into other things that I'm doing in life that's going to help prolong me in the long run. So I would say to people, just watching you keep around you, like watching you keep in your circle, and also with your coaches and people that just come into your life, to pour in for the second or for the moment. Just soak up all that knowledge in and ask as many questions. And even once that particular moment is over with that coach, still keep in contact, because that person can always pour into your life no matter what. And life is all about who you know, not necessarily what you know.
Right.
Because with this position that I'm in with my job, I got this because I knew somebody. I didn't get this because of what I know. What I knew came into the picture once I got into my area of work, expertise, or things like that. But it's all about what you know and building connections. Life is all about connections. It's like the Wi-Fi. I give people this analogy a lot. A lot of people, you want to connect to the Wi-Fi, and some people have bad signal, and some people have good signal. So you want to make sure you connecting to the people that have good signal. That's going to bring that level of, just positivity and encouragement to your life that's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, that's good. So how did it end up going with your friends sitting around that table, that dinner table, and a lot of them who are really just focused on their now?
Yes.
They were in sports and stuff like that. How did it transition with them?
For them, some of them are still in that state that they still focused on basketball and things of that sort. And I don't try to throw it at them like, man, y'all need to start thinking about life after sports. Y'all need to start thinking about life after sports. I don't necessarily do that. I do that through my actions, like with what I'm doing with After the Ball Deflates. They see what I'm doing. They see how I'm moving and how I'm doing certain things. So I let the lifestyle that I live and the life that I live speak for itself. And hopefully that can impact them to let them know, okay, if Sai is able to make that transition to, life after sports, then maybe I can too. But it comes to a point where sometimes, even though you might have that dream and admiration that, all right, I'm going to still try to play in the G League, I'm still try to go overseas, that has to come to an end at some point. You have to be real with yourself, because if not, you're going to be 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, still trying to make your way into the league, still trying to make your way overseas. And at the end of the day, your parents don't want that, because you still in their house. They want their privacy. You want your privacy. So at the end of the day, it's like you have to make a conscious decision in your mind to, like, all right, I'm going to do something that's going to, make my family proud, and that's going to, get me out of here without selling drugs, selling weed, doing all this type of stuff. Because a lot of people think that in order for them to get money and get outside the house, that they have to, go to the streets. They have to sell this, sell that. It's not necessarily that. You just have to tap in with yourself, look yourself into the mirror, and have that conversation about what other things do you like, or what other things that you have of interest in your life that will help you, prolong what you want to do in life. So that's why I think that when people go to college, it's very important for them to pick a major that they love, or like they grew up talking about. Not necessarily like, if I play basketball, I don't want to have a major that deals with like politics. That's why I did sports management, because I was still able to learn the business aspect and still learn like the behind the scenes and things of that sort, and apply that to what I'm doing now in my work, which is in the government. Like, I'm still able to, pick certain things up and drop those off, and bring like a different type of creativity to the level that I'm to the organization that I'm working for.
Right. Now you did, I can't remember which one, but you did work for a period of time with an NBA team, right?
Yes, I have. I was working for the Washington Wizards. That was last October, and that ended I moved out here last March. So that ended in like February. But that was part-time though. Like, a lot of people, they probably thought, oh yeah, Jasiah got a career job working with the Wizards. No, 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 no. That wasn't it. I was getting paid like maybe like 15, 17 an hour, but that's just for like throughout the game. The game only lasts about 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
So you do like 15 times 5, like that's really not a lot of money, but I was still able to pay certain bills and do things of that sort. And it was a good experience because I was able to network, meet a lot of people, and I was able to accomplish a dream that I had. Like growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, I'm like, okay, if I want to make it to the NBA and play for the home team. I wasn't able to make it to the NBA, play for the home team, but I was able to work for the home team, go through the same tunnel as the players, have the same access that the players have, and interact with the players as if I was in the NBA. So that's something that I was able to cross off my bucket list at such a young age.
Right. And doing something that you love, right? I mean,
yeah.
I would assume that it was an enjoyable experience, hopefully.
It was. I was able to, interact with the fans, make their day, make them meet their favorite players, shake their hands. And like a lot of like the fan, I was in charge of like the marketing. So I would pick like contestants from the crowd to come onto the court to do different contests, co-captain, game ball, different moments like that. And a lot of the kids, it would be their first time coming to an NBA game. And they'll be so nervous to go out to the middle of the floor and shake like Steph Curry hand, Bradley Beal's hand, John Wall, different players like that. And in my head, I'm like, wow, I get to be a part of this life-changing moment for this individual. And I feel like my purpose on this earth is to impact people in different ways, and that it's bigger than me. So I was being able to see that on an every night-to-night basis. Right. That was pretty cool in my eyes.
Yeah. And I brought that up because, a lot of times, when you're so focused on the now, you don't think of the after, right? Just like you were alluding to. And I think it's really important, and I'm going to get into something in just a second, but I think it's really important to be future minded, right? Future thinking, forward thinking, because you can get caught up in right now, but that's only temporary. What you have right now is only temporary. And in going back to one of the things you mentioned was, making sure that you have people in your corner and around you who are doing more and aspiring for more. One of the things that I learned from your parents, and I will forever re-preach, take and preach to other people, is that, always, and it's not necessarily always in relation to marriage, but in just life period, is always to make sure, like, look around you, who's around you, who do you have above you that can hold you accountable, you're in the middle, and who can you on the other end hold accountable, where you're, so that way that you're never have that, you teeter to the left and teeter to the right, you're not going to fall, and I think that we can definitely apply that to life and every experience that we have, because it should always be a full circle of you encouraging somebody encouraging you, and you're right here in the middle, like, all right, I'm about to lose it, but I can't lose it because they got me and I got them and they got me, So exactly. I always think about that when I talk to people, because that's like the best ever to be explained. So before I jump to my next topic, I want to talk about elaborating on the importance of having an identity, because when you have, your why, they may have their why, but they still may not know who they are. They may be, okay, you know what, I'm living life in poverty right now. My mom and my dad lost a job, or my mom is here, my dad's not. I have to work a part-time job, and I'm still going to school. I don't know who I am. Like, you have to know who you are in order to get to where you're going, So talk a little bit about that, of like your identity. I mean, we know, vision boards, like you can envision it, but you're inside, you're going through some major stuff, doubt, lack of confidence. You just don't have a self-worth. You're your worst critic, you name it. So your identity is literally shattered to pieces. So talk a little bit about knowing your identity and having an identity.
So with having an identity, one thing that my dad has always like taught me and instilled in me growing up is words of affirmation. So he would tell me to, like, so I get out a piece of paper and write, I am Jasiah, like I am a man, I am this, I am that. And say that to yourself every day because the more you start speaking those things into your life, you start to realize who you really are behind, you know, behind all of this right here, like on the inside. Like you start to know who you are on the inside. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that nowadays because a lot of people think who they are is based upon social media, what they got in their pockets, what their friends look like, what their girlfriends look like, what their boyfriends look like, and things of that sort. And with this generation, we get so caught up in everybody else that it's kind of hard for us to, you know, figure out who we are. So I would say with like identity, just look yourself in the mirror every single day that you wake up and just look at yourself just for a moment. Like just stare at yourself and say, okay, this is who I am. Like I'm me. Like I'm nobody else. Nobody could change me. And a lot of something that I like to tell a lot of people is that you're the author to your own story. You're the only one that can write. You're the only one that have the pen to write the book to your story. No one else can write your story for you. Like, or they can, but they're gonna miss out on some pieces that they don't know because they're not you. So at the end of the day, you're the author to your story. Where's the affirmation? And also one thing that I did in college before I graduated, I kind of like separated myself from people. I would still go out around like certain friends and things of that sort to like have fun. But when I was in my room, I was doing schoolwork, but I was also reading books like, do I have it? Hold on one moment.
Okay. Let me check in with it.
Yeah. So I was reading books like Soar by like T.D. Jakes. I was reading this book about the truth about men by Devon Franklin, Megan Good's husband. And like just trying to, you know, take certain things from those books and looking at different sermons and motivational videos on YouTube to figure like who I really am and what I need to work on as a man and how can I soar and how can I be, you know, how can I stay true to who I am? Because your parents, they birthed you, but at the end of the day, you're not your parents, you're your parents' child. You can break the generational curses or you can just do the same things that your parents was doing. And a lot of people think, okay, just because they my parents, yeah, you have to respect them and everything, but they had trial and error in their lives too. And you must go through those same things. I had a conversation with my dad and my mom and dad about, I forgot how old I was, but I felt like they wasn't allowing me to like spread my wings and just be myself. Like it was emotional. I was crying and everything. I'm like, I'm getting to the age where like, you know, I need to start learning for myself. Like you all raised me. You all were like the mother bird, kept me in the egg, nurtured me. But now it's time that I have my own wings, and now it's time for me to fly on my own and figure out who I am. And I know that if I fly and if I fall down, I could always come back to you for like that nurturing, for that guidance, for you to help me in any area and aspect of my life. And that's something that I hold on to when it comes to like finding my identity, because you won't really know who you are until you start to go through things in life. And that's going to teach you about who you really are and what you need to work on and how you need to move and transition and just become a better person at the end of the day.
Yeah. That was good. I don't got nothing else to say other than this. When I think of the song by Jonathan Nelson, My Name is Victory. Do you know that song?
Yep.
At the end, he talks about, I know my identity, my name is Victory. But even just the lyrics in the song, if you just read the words, there you go. Like you can just print that out and put it on your mirror right here. Like it puts the stamp. Like I love that song because it just wraps it all together. So congratulations on your most recent, well, not most recent, but your interview with Ray McBay. I can't say the full last name, but Ray
like Mecca Ralph Bay.
Something like that. There you go. Congratulations on that interview. I listened to the whole thing and I was like pumped because that was so cool. And it's crazy because when I saw the movie, I immediately thought of you and our interview coming up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to text Jasiah and ask him if he heard this. Because at the beginning of the movie, it like just struck me like right in my steps. And so basically it was the beginning of the movie. He was trying to get to the bookstore to get his books.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Listen.
And he said life. He said, I got to think about life after sports.
Listen, I told you, he was on my mind, homie. So she made this comment for people, just put it in context for people. If you haven't seen the movie, sorry to tell you this part, but sorry, not sorry. So basically he ran to the bookstore. He was late, but he was coming from practice, and he really needed his books because he was really into his studies. That was one thing that he didn't waver on, was his grades and staying committed to his schooling. And so basically she was giving him his books and made a comment of something to as such as, well, or something like, you're not like every other player. And it struck him, and he was like, good thing I'm not every other player. Besides, I can't depend on football to hold me down for life. I need a plan after. And I was like, everybody in the world need to watch this movie. And it just, again, this is why we're here. You know, he has a why, but he also knows his why. Right at that moment, it was like football, right? But he also knew football was only going to get him so far, and he never ended up making it going pro. But the education that he obtained has taken him much further in life, you know, and he's still able to operate in his gift with the current things that he's doing right now. So when you saw it, obviously, I know you thought of yourself.
Yeah, I did. As soon as he said that, I said, let me go on Instagram. Let me go ahead and look this guy up. I'm like, boom. And then he responded like 10 minutes later. I told my dad. He was like, for real? For real? I was like, yeah.
Look, I'm still waiting, but I ain't going to talk about it right now. But that's dope. Like, I believe in everything happening for a reason, right? And I think that's more confirmation even for you to be able to see that and get that connection. And now you have that connection, you know? But it's just really important that you see people in the spotlight, however you want to say it, who still knows. And I mean, it just goes down to like a lot of even players who are pro right now who are still in college. You know, they're still on the side part-time, one class here or there, but they're still committed to getting that degree because they know that ball will deflate after a while, you know. So talk about that experience with Ray Ray. That's huge. I mean, all your interviews are huge, but I don't know, probably
I feel like
that movie.
That one was different because of the movie and everything that was behind it. But
right.
Yeah. So that was real major for me. Like, I try to stay humble. Well, I not try. I am very humble. I'm not cocky or anything like that. So while watching that movie, everything, like you said, once he said that part about, I gotta think about life after sports, something in my mind just registered, and I'm like, all right, I relate to this dude on, like, you know, on a different level other than sports. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, like I said, let me go on Instagram. I look him up. I'm like, okay, before he get a huge following, let me go ahead and follow him, and let me go ahead and like tap in with him, message him, and see if he'll respond. And not only did he respond, he sent me a voice message, and I was like,
oh, yes.
And he was like, yeah, what's up, Jasiah? I'll be down for it. You know, I'm gonna give you the contact person and who to get in contact with, and then we're gonna go from there. But I love to do that. I love to sit down with you and talk about life after sports. And I'm just like, yo, like, this is huge. Like,
right.
Like, this is big. And then I got in touch with his brother too. His little brother.
Oh, you talked to Famar?
Yeah, I talked to the real Famar. So
you talked to the real Famar.
Yeah. So what was originally supposed to happen, they wasn't, I guess, in the same house or whatever during the interview. Mm-hmm. I was gonna have Famar come join the conversation as well. Mm-hmm. And I felt like that would have brought a whole nother level of, like, you know, type of impact to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for some reason he wasn't at the house with him at that moment. So
okay.
Yeah, but it was very huge for me. And then he said a lot of things in that interview that stuck out to me. Mm-hmm. And that just, you know, resonated with me and what he has going on as well. That I would like to partner up with him and do some things to help those families that's going through things that he went through growing up. So mm-hmm. that was a very big interview for me.
You know, that movie was a lot to take in. I need to see it again because it was like, dang, it's just one of those things, like when life throws you those curveballs, it's like, how much can you take, you know? But it was definitely a true testament is, you know, the Lord won't put no more on you than you're able to bear, literally. But it's just a huge story of victory, triumph, perseverance, dedication, commitment, you know, and then obviously seeing it outside of the sports for me, and just seeing his commitment to his family, you know, and his younger siblings. Because, you know, me and my siblings have a story of ourselves, and it's pretty close, but not to that extent. So I just feel like it impacted everybody, and you didn't even have to play sports to relate, you know. So what type of advice can you offer to those who have, you know, dreams of going pro? It's tough out here, especially with coronavirus.
Yeah, for
Coronavirus.
sure.
It's tough, and it has. So let me just give an example. My son was telling me yesterday. Oh, so we just moved to California from Seattle, and he was telling me yesterday that a lot of the schools in Seattle have now been granted to play sports, right? To move forward in sports, except the one school district, which was a district that we were previously in. And so a lot of the players and athletes are mad and talking about protesting and stuff like that. And it's just hard, you know, because especially for seniors, those who are seniors, who really have a huge outlook on getting that visibility and exposure this year. But for many, that's not happening because of COVID, right? So our dreams shattered? I don't know. You know, has it been kind of prolonged and pushed to the side? Quite possibly.
Yeah.
But how does that conversation take place for those right now who are literally in a space like, I was there, I was waiting, I've been training, I've been going, and now it's like, okay, crickets.
It's a very hard time for athletes right now. I would say with you know, everything that's going on, I would say that your dream is over with. Your dream is, you know, is finished. Like, I would just say it's delayed for the moment. Like, God put a pause on it for you to really focus in on necessarily like on other things. Like, you know, not sitting at home playing video games all day. Just start to get books, start to watch different things on YouTube, to just think about you outside of, you know, outside of sports, basketball, football, soccer, anything like that. Because I feel like, going back to the identity, once you say that you're a basketball player, a lot of people like to think that that's truly like their identity. But I have something right here that I wrote down. I said, what did I say? I said your name is your brand. A lot of people think that the name on their jersey defines who they are. It's not. That name on the back of your jersey is that legacy that you really living for.
Right.
This name right here on the front, the Spurs, the Cavs, all of that, you can be traded and you can no longer have that name. But one thing that will never change is that name on the back of your jersey, or that name that you represent for your household and for your family. And I will also say, you know, personal growth and personal development. Like, I know they might still be young at the moment, but I feel like they need to get into a habit of starting to pray, starting, you know, I wouldn't even say like get extra like religious or anything like that, but just start to talk to, you know, those, as what we call it, like OGs in your life, about just life in general and how to handle obstacles and, you know, tribulations that occur in life. And just start to come up with, I would say, a plan B, but a transition. And one thing I did last summer was that I knew that, you know, the pandemic, the coronavirus was taking a toll on athletes. So what I did was I was walking around my neighborhood, just walking around the pond or whatever. And I'm like, what can I do to, you know, help someone out that lost out on like a potential scholarship opportunity to go to college and like further their education. So I would say that I came up with a scholarship for myself. I gave $1,000 to someone who wanted to go to school to play, to do wrestling, but they couldn't because they didn't have the money. He came from like a 5-family household, like with, you know, with little brothers and sisters like that. And I know that, you know, that was taking a toll on his mom when it comes to like the finances and things of that sort. So I just tried to pitch him wherever I could to help, you know, send him to college. And yeah, he's at college now. He's actually wrestling, but I don't think it's necessarily like a sport at the school. It's more like, I think, like an intern sport or like I don't know how to call it, but
Uh-huh.
I was able, you know, to help him pay for his books and different things like that for him to go to school and for him to, you know, continue his education. And I keep in touch with him every now and then just to see how he's doing and things of that sort. So I would just say, you know, get in touch with that inner self and just start to, like I said, just start to talk to those people around you in that circle. That's why I say that circle is very important because you have to keep people around us who keep it real with you. Not going to, you know, sugarcoat things and tell you like, oh man, like, you know, da 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 da, like it's gonna be cool. You still gonna go to the league. You still gonna do that.
Right.
No, because there's like a 2% chance that people go to the NBA, especially like if you like me, like you're like 5'9", 5'10". Your chances of making it are like this. You might be able to slide it if you just built, you know, a little bit different and you like a freakish athlete that's just dunking like and just shooting like Stephen Curry. But if you're not that type of player, you know, you have to start, you know, focusing on other things. And even with overseas, I would say, you know, overseas, some people pay good money, but some people don't pay good money. But people think that when you go overseas, like, oh man, you're making a lot of money. And I have a lot of, you know, friends and stuff. And like my dad played overseas and he told me, you know, the ins and out of, you know, those situations. And it's not all peaches and cream. So just start to realize truly, you know, your inner self and yeah, just pray. That's
Yeah, I definitely, meditating, just really sitting and getting to know you. I mean, and I feel like a lot of people have a problem with that because we have lived this fast-paced life. Then Corona came and everybody's sitting here twiddling their thumbs like, what am I gonna do? I mean, all you do really have is, your access to social media and stuff like that, but they don't really know what to do with themselves. And this is a prime time opportunity to strengthen some of those areas that you didn't pay too much attention to in the past,
Yep.
So let's take a moment and see what they're talking about over here. Some people join. Somebody said, have to realize your passions and hobbies and figure out a way to turn it into a job or business. Absolutely. Somebody
That's my
said, I
cousin
like
right
that.
there. Shout out Jamal.
That's your cousin, you said?
Yeah. He's actually getting into fitness now. So I try to talk to him and, you know, we talked a little thing about, you know, business, entrepreneurship and just making a difference in people's lives and things of that sort. But he's doing this thing. Shout out Jamal.
Yeah, shout out Jamal. What's up, Jamal? Somebody said they like the Wi-Fi analogy. Yeah, I really like that Wi-Fi analogy. Facts, yep. So let's see. I heard something the other day before we close. Somebody said, so he was a cop. He has now turned into a multimillionaire, but during his time before coming a cop and he was in college, he had the body build, he had the mentality, he was had these dreams of going pro, going to the NFL. Recruiters came, he went to tryouts, never got picked up. And he said he ended up suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic sports disorder. I was like, I never heard that. I never heard that. I was like, that's good. And I feel like that is pertinent terminology right now, what I feel like a lot of athletes are dealing with right now. And I will probably even present traumatic sports disorder because they're going through it right now, and or those who have already graduated from high school and didn't get that turnout and exposure that they desired. But I thought I'd let you in on that little tidbit. Use that. Look, take and tweet.
That's definitely something interesting. And I feel like even though I'm not playing basketball or, you know, doing things like that anymore, I would say I wouldn't say I suffer from that, but I kind of experienced that because I still get the urge to, like, you know, want to play, you know. Every time I watch a game growing up, like at halftime, I'm like, man, I don't want to watch this game anymore. I want to go outside and shoot on the court, get some shots up. Like, I don't want to be watching. I want them to be watching me. And, like, I still get that urge to this day. And I'm like, all right, I'm not in shape like that no more. I can't just be doing what I do. And, like, if I go to the court, my ankles swelling up, my knees hurting, my back hurting. I'm like, I can't do what I used to do anymore. But I think that's something that a lot of people suffer with. But that's a good terminology, actually.
Yeah, it really is. It's true. I mean, you hear it and you're like, oh, man, that is really true. Dang. And then you start applying all different scenarios to it. But, yes. Oh my gosh. Hold on, let me grab my computer because
Okay.
I wanna throw something in here. I just gotta remember where it is, Lord Jesus.
My parents said that's really going to be a thing. It's trauma during the pandemic for athletes. Yeah.
No, it really is. And people run from therapy, and
That's another thing. I feel like a lot of athletes, they need to get in touch with like their mental health and like the mental side of things, because if not, it's going to hurt you, and like it's going to take a toll on your body, it's going to take a toll on your mind, and it might lead to, I don't want to say it, but like it might lead to like thoughts of like suicide, and we don't want that to happen. So a lot of even non-athletes, a lot of people just need to take into consideration therapy and just their mental health in general, and just doing things throughout the day that make them happy, like going for a walk, going to talk to a certain friend, and things like that, to just keep their mind good.
Music, first of all, music is, you can give me some music and I'm like, yes. It totally just washes out all worries, whatever. Like music will make you it turn you into you morph into so many different things when you listen to music and different types. Therapy is so important, especially for our student athletes. It is. So one thing that I am a huge advocate for, and I had text some friends this yesterday, and I'm in a sorority, and me and my line sisters also have a group where we will randomly throughout the day, we'll say, all right, stop and drink water. And we have to hold ourselves accountable. We send a picture, exercise, obviously words of encouragement, affirmations and stuff like that. But I think we as adults and just people, humans, have to remember that we still have an inner kid.
Yep.
I don't care how old you are. Go to the park and swing, obviously walk, exercise, but remember to play. And I feel like we have totally lost that. Your mom or dad said, ask for help. People are afraid to ask for help. And that's a lot of what pushed me to start I Daydream. And that was me. Like, I was a person in class who was really afraid to speak up and provide an answer to a question, because I thought, one, it'll be wrong. One, people will laugh, or two, people will laugh. Three, I'm just embarrassed because, I just don't know how I'm going to sound. Will it look funny? I mean, there was so much, and so I often kind of hid behind and just totally internalized, only for somebody else to say it. And it was the same thing I was saying. And I'm like, God dang it, but that was one of the things with I Daydream, was that, really pushing youth, to vocalize what they're internalizing, because they're afraid to speak. They're afraid to say it because they don't know what the type of responses they're going to get. But it's like, why? Like, we have to make it normal and a thing for us to just talk, and that's why we're here. You and I are here today. I told my board that this year we're not focusing and getting real deep into curriculum. We're just not, because they're on an online school anyway. So how selfish would it be of me to be like, all right, so today get your book and let's dive. No, they need this where they can just listen into and be able to anonymously send a little question or something to feel like they're a part of a conversation, and where they're going to be heard too. So, they got to ask for help. Hold on. The chat is popping. Let me see. That is very important. Remember to play, refill, and be creative. Absolutely.
Are there any of your students or anybody that has like a question that they would like
I know they're here, but they ain't saying nothing. Y'all better speak up. They were waving, but I don't know. Oh, Desi's here. Hi, Desi. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Securing one's mental health will help you succeed in every aspect of life. Absolutely. Because if you don't take care of you, who gonna do it?
Who gonna do it?
Providing a safe space. Providing a safe space for youth to give voice. Very necessary. It is. And knowing, especially when you're talking to your parents. I'm a parent, so I won't even go down that bunny trail. But I often find that, talking to someone who can be very neutral and not parent per se really helps, because you can give a different aspect. I mean, but you still got to play a little devil's advocate here and there. it's really important to know that they're coming to a place that someone's just going to hear them out, especially right now. Like I always tell people, if I was in high school right now, even college, look, I probably would still be at home because I don't know how I would be able to manage through it. It's tough.
I agree.
It's tough. So how, moving forward, thank you for what you did and recognizing that need and giving out that scholarship, because I think that is exactly what we need to be doing. A lot of what we're doing as well, just looking and just seeing it and acting upon it. And I think that's another thing too. Don't just look and be like, oh, no, look and be like, how? Ask that question. How can I help? And it doesn't, and people always think that, I don't know when Instagram's going to kick us off. So I'm going to just.
No, we good.
Okay.
If Versus could be on for like 4 hours, we good.
Right. But, they got some pull too. So I don't know. I just know that, I forgot my train of thought, but I just know that there's an opportunity here. And I wish that everyone jumps on that opportunity. That's what I was going to say. People think that it has to be, 500, 600. It doesn't even have to be monetarily. It's the time. It's a grocery bag. It's a phone call, not a text. It's a phone call. Have been, for the past couple of years now, I've been making it a point to send thank you cards, like so they can see my handwriting, because I mean something. Someone actually took time out to think of me and to say these kind things to me and just to send me something in the mail. I mean, people getting bills in the mail every day, but they're not getting, nice little cards and notes and stuff like that. So, and I try to do that for our youth, sending cards, really just making it personal, putting that stamp of personalization on it. So, I can't find what I was looking for. I'm gonna find it. But anyways, it's this fun thing I was gonna do with you before. Oh, I found it. All right, pick a number between 1 and 365.
1 to 365.
Yes.
265.
All right. What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret? What was my biggest regret? I wouldn't say I regret necessarily anything, because everything happens for a reason. And if I would have changed something, then maybe I would not be in the place that I am today. So I wouldn't say I regret anything. Maybe, well, I'll take that back. I regret not doing these interviews a lot sooner, like when everybody was on that wave, like back in like April, May, June, that period when everybody and their mama was doing IG lives, because I maybe would have been able to get in contact with a lot more people. But I wouldn't say that's a regret. That's just everything happened for a reason.
But if you would have did that back then, safety wasn't out, and you wouldn't have had that interview with Ray. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. And that was like the thing. I felt like it was IG live overload. My phone was
everybody was being DJ and
Right. I mean, the DJ and I like, because it was like, oh, okay, I have opportunity to jump in, listen to some music, but it just seemed like left and right, and it was kind of overwhelming. I don't know about you, but there was just a point where I just didn't do social media like that. I got out of my whole groove because I was thrown off, especially with the kids being home from school. Like our whole situation just stopped and shifted. So it was a little much. But no, I have this 365 table topics question. So I always like to tap into it just to.
That sounds like something my parents would do.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if she texted me asking me for it, but it's a really good list of questions for sure.
Yeah.
I had something else to ask you, but I forgot. I really enjoyed this. First of all, let me just say I thank you for doing this. This was really fun. It helps me get out of my comfort zone too.
Somebody said, was I nice at hoops? I mean, I was a shooter, so like, playing with my teammates, they knew I wasn't gonna say I was like nice, but I made it do what it do on the court. Like, don't leave me open, because it's going in 9 times out of 10. So
yeah. Look, Jamichael, are you nice at hoop? I know him, so I can. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I think this is key. I think I love partnering. I love having the opportunity of being able to join forces and doing things as such, especially when it's a true passion, you know, because it's not like that for everybody. I'm not just having an IG live just to have one. But it just helps you to really put things into perspective, get into the reality side of it, and just have true, authentic conversations. And so I thank you for...
No problem. And yeah, one thing I would like to say, like going forward with After the Ball Deflates, for anyone watching that wants to know, like, okay, what are you going to be doing in the future? Like, what are your plans? So nothing is set in stone right now, but for like what I want to do going to the future is provide internships for like high school students, college students, to let them get, you know, a chance to experience like the fields and stuff they may have of interest. He said we
called him Big Shot Side.
Yeah. That's what they call me. But yeah, I would like to, you know, partner up with different organizations and businesses for internship opportunities to get these athletes, you know, a chance to see a different side of the world that they never knew existed. He said, "Let's play." All right, we can play. But but and also I'm going to be doing another scholarship, you know, going into the summertime. So I want them to be on the lookout for that as well. And my big picture would be to host basketball, football, soccer tournaments and things like that. But instead of having the, you know, athletes go back to the hotel in between games, have seminars set up for them to attend between games so that they can learn, you know, what the business world looks like. So once it's time for them to make that transition, or when it's time for them to go to college, they have an idea of like what type of things they're interested in for the long run. So those are some of like my big plans.
Well, I love it. I'm here for it all. I think that's excellent because it'll help, especially if it's like a 9th, 10th grader who's really trying to identify like what it is that they want to do. You know, as far as majors are concerned, those types of experiences will help them to kind of, you know, bob and weave and figure out, you know, is it for me or is it not? And it's fine, but they have to be able to get those opportunities, you know. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I would love, you know, for us, obviously, you're on my phone now, so you ain't going.
Yeah.
I would love to, obviously, for us to stay connected and continue to fill in those gaps. You know, if I have some athletes, send them your way, you know, and if you need mentoring, whatever that looks like college readiness, whatever that looks like, let's continue to figure it out so that we can make sure that we're meeting the needs of, you know, no child left behind. And it don't have to be East Coast, West Coast. It could be wherever. So I just think that's key, you know, and I don't think we see enough of collaborations.
I agree.
Effective collaborations. Enough where people, you know, where it ain't about me. And I'm pretty sure it ain't about you. It's about who we serve, you know, and that's what's most important. So, yeah. I appreciate it. Did you have any other things you wanted to talk about After the Ball Deflates? What's next? What's your next interview? Or
so I'm diving into the female side of things. I want to get, you know, more females involved, because I don't want to just focus on guys, and I don't want to just focus on people that look like us. Like I want to get like you know, the Asians, whites, anybody like that, because our sport, I mean, our color isn't the only, you know, or race isn't the only race that plays sports growing up. Like you have everyone out here that's interested in sports and plays sports. So I'm trying to become like diverse. But my next interview would be like, I don't have it set yet. I'm still trying to get that figured out. But I know it's going to be a female though that I want to, you know, talk to.
That's dope. I have somebody in mind. She actually plays right now, but I mean she's African American, but she's a female. And she plays overseas right now. So I'll try to make that connection for you.
Okay.
What will come of it? I mean, she's really personable. Just that time difference, obviously, but she's great. She went to University of Oregon. She was one of their top players there. And we had the opportunity to meet her a couple summers ago when we went there. And she chimes in from time to time, like on our stories and things like that. So it's just nice that she's still doing what she's doing, but from a mentoring perspective and just really diving into like a lot of what you talk about. and do, she'd be a good one.
And about the interview thing, that was something that I never had in my mind that I wanted to do. But what I really wanted to do was, well, what I'm still going to do once everything gets back to normal is create like a mentorship program where I have people in the community that play sports, that work in, the business world, to come out and talk to the students about what they do and like create like a mentorship like program as well. But I knew that, okay, it's a pandemic, but like what else could I do for people to hear people's stories about, like, how they made that transition into, what they're doing now. So I was like, okay, I was going to do like a podcast, but I'm like, nah, everybody and their mom will be on social media, so let's just do social media. So that's how I came up with the interviews.
Well, you're on to something, okay? You are on, you not even on it. You're doing it. So
thank you.
That's good. Just do. I'm just one of those people. Like, I work kind of backwards. And if someone says, all right, you should do it, I'm gonna do it. I can't even tell you that I did it. As far as the formalities and that admin side of it, I don't even know if it was right. I just did it because I feel like I'm really always up for a challenge, you know? And so I'm also one of those types of people, like, I don't want to live my life with regrets. I don't want to be like, I'm 80 years old, like, dang, I shoulda. I'm going to just do it, God darn it. If I fail, I'm going to just fail, but I know that I'm failing and I'm learning, right? And
I'm failing with purpose.
Failing with purpose. And listen, I'm going to be tripping and falling and getting scrapes and burns, whatever I need to, but I'm going to do it. And this is how I just ended up here. literally. Well, I'm excited. This was fun, Jasiah. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm like, look, I ain't got nothing to do
with you before, but we met on the phone to talk, but it's like we met each other in person before or something. But
I know.
That's
like I said,
that's how things should be.
Right. And I feel like I've already known you because we've known your parents literally.
Yeah.
I think your mom, what is this, 2021? I think it's 3 or 4 years. I don't know. Your mom always remembers, but I think it's been 3 or 4 years that we've known each other. So I feel like I remember when you graduated from high school.
Oh, wow.
Like everything. Like, well, college. No, when was that? It was your college. It was college. Yeah. But I remember when I think it was high school. Look, I'm dating myself at this point. But
that was 2015. I graduated 2015. That was years ago.
Okay, so maybe it was college then. It was college. Is that so? When you graduated from college, that's when you guys went to
at the restaurant. Yep.
At the restaurant, and you had them bawling their eyes out.
Mm-hmm. My mom said y'all been known each other since
2017. See, I told you she would know because I'd be like, that's when you had them bawling their eyes out when you read them. Like that was like I was bawling. I was like, dang, that was like, oh my gosh. Sorry. We ain't even talking about a why anymore, y'all. We just talking about how I've known Jasiah since 2017. There we go. We met y'all in 2016. Well, see, there we go. Oh, we going on 5 years. Is it our anniversary this year, Angel? Let me find out. We're gonna have an anniversary with each other.
Yeah, funny.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you once again for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for being here. This won't be the last, I'm sure. I'll think of something. For sure.
Yep.
I'll think of something. But I would love to definitely send some people your way.
Okay.
Because there's only I don't know sports like that. Yeah. I can talk on how to maintain, your identity, making sure you have an identity through it all. But as far as like separating yourself and not truly identifying yourself to the ball itself, I can't necessarily talk all the stats and stuff that goes with it without feeling like I'm shattering a dream. Because that's one thing I have struggled with, especially with my own child. Yeah. Some things I say, some things I don't, because I don't know if I'm saying it how it's going to come off.
And that's another thing. But what I'm doing, I don't want to shatter anyone's dream. I want you to go as far as you can, but still, at the end of the day, like, keep that in mind that, like, the ball is going to deflate at some point. Even because, let's say you stop playing basketball at 35. You got the rest of your life to live. Now what you want to do?
Right. Yep.
Like LeBron is still young. He played 20 seasons, but he's still young. He just turned 36. Like.
Right. But build businesses along the way, Jot down those ideas. That's why it's important to journal. It's important to, I I got sticky notes, calendars. I mean, it's important to capture those ideas, even if you don't act upon it right now. At least you can reflect and bring it back eventually, so that you can uproot that, because that is what you're after. It's your now too, but it's your after. Start those ventures and making it happen, because what they say is that dash in between when you were born and when you leave the earth, that dash between are what matters. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my little scrapes and stuff while in my dash and do whatever I'm thinking about doing and make it happen, all the while making a change. So I just want to see people happy.
Yeah,
like I just want people to be happy. I don't think that
that's the end goal.
Right. It is, and I just don't believe in harboring your gifts either. Like, it just makes me so sad, because I personally have had, in my son, oh my gosh, I've kept the track. In my phone, I literally have a running notes of so many people who have just shattered him with their words and their just dismissals. But I've also kept a track of praises from teachers, and all the great things that people have had to say, just so that he can see that balance. Yeah, people are tearing you down, but you also have people who are building you up. So don't let those tear downs be the deciding factor of who you're going to become and how people really see you, because that's one of the things that with him, I'm just like, dude, with working, my husband really encouraged him to work and get a job, which is great, because he fought it at the beginning, but now he's working. But that was one of the things that I told him. This is going off on a tangent, but he wanted to call in to work last week. And I was like, dude, we'll see if somebody will pick up the shift, right? And he's like, I just don't want to go. I have homework, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, all right, well, look, I'm not going to encourage you to call in, but I don't mind someone picking up your shift. I said, because if you want to put in your 2 weeks and find another job, you have to let this new employer know of this new job of where you worked previously, right? I said, so you want them to be able to say some good things about you. You don't want them to be like, oh yeah, he's a good worker, but he just quit. He just stopped showing up. What do you think's going to happen with the new employer? So you have to, I said, you got to start thinking bigger, and you can't just think about the right now. And in regards to sports, I don't want people to identify you because you're good with the ball. I don't want that. I want them to be able to look at your transcript and you got into college because of your grades, not because, yeah, you want a full ride scholarship. I get it. I totally get it. But I don't want people to be like, oh, he's good with the ball, let's just bring him on. No, he's a part of our institution because he is a wonderful young man, he's a scholar. He puts, his grades and stuff first. So I went off on a tangent, but that's the type of mentality and the type of mentoring and the type of conversations that I desire to have with people, you know, and that would benefit them, and that'll leave them let them leave the conversation really thinking like, dang, that's really true, So some more people enjoying this. We met y'all. Oh yeah. So okay. Look, we keep trying to be all right. Thank you so much. All right, and then we start talking about something else.
It's cool.
All right. I think this is for real this time. Like I said, I'll make sure to slide you make that connection between you and that girl, and let me know how I can be of help to you too. As I see your events and stuff, I'll make sure to reshare and vice versa. Market your stuff, and yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you once again.
You're welcome. Have a good Saturday. I appreciate it. Peace.
All right, peace.
All right, bye.